Something to think about. It's fall time. We're at the end of the harvest season. The very, very tail end of the harvest season, in fact. The dedication that you put in all year long into your metaphorical garden, per se, whether you're a gardener or you're not. Anyway, the effort, the energy, the attention, the dedication that you put towards that thing represents what your harvest is going to be. So, the more energy and effort that you put into a thing, the bigger your harvest. But the less attention to details, the less watering, the less weeding, the less whatever words, the less you paid attention to it, the less you watered it, the less you fertilized it, took care of it, is going to represent in your harvest. Hi, twerp. I have a friend. I've turned into the crazy cat lady, guys. I didn't mean to, but I did. Anyway. The more energy and effort that you put into the thing is going to represent the size of the harvest that you get. This particular garden was massively overplanted in lettuce, and I had parsnips here the last 2 years. I didn't plant parsnips this year, but I did have some go to seed on me, because I always leave a few to reseed for next year, which is awesome, because then that means I have one less thing to do, because it automatically takes care of itself. But here's the thing: if you don't go through and thin your garden out, you don't go through and thin out that workload, you don't go through and pay attention to what's actually in your garden, such as the little buggies that are now hibernating in your garden, that are going to come back next year. If you're not paying attention to these things, and if you're not going through and rejuvenating your garden, you're not watering it, you're not thinning it out, well then, my friend, your harvest is going to be pretty damn little. And this is not the time of year to replant your garden. This is the time of year to go through and replan your garden, to go through and clean everything up. It is the time of year to go through and plan for what's next. But you can't do that till you clean it up. Fall time's about harvest, but big part of harvest is the cleanup that happens afterwards. You go through, you harvest all the goodies out of your gardens, and you go out in the fields and you do all the foraging and all the grounding, all the beautiful things. You see all the colors, all the nature walks, all these great, fabulous things with the harvest season. It's a time of calming down, cooling, reflecting back on the life that you've weaved so far in this little world. It is the time of year that you take stock of what you did do. It's not about trying to replant new seeds and go, oh my God, I gotta get it in, I gotta make it happen. Oh, like we're at the end of the year, I didn't meet my goals. No, it's not time for freaking out and all that. It is time for taking responsibility and acknowledging what you did and what you could have done different. It's not about beating yourself up, it's just about simple acknowledgement. This garden produced, this one little bed produces so much food on a normal year that not only does it fill up my pantry, not only does it feed my family throughout the summer months with fresh lettuce and carrots and parsnips and all that. It's not even a big garden, guys. This is like, what, a 4x3 garden? A little 4x3 raised garden bed. It's not even that big. And I made it from just a couple cedar fencing boards. It wasn't hard. Took a hell of a lot longer than I was anticipating it. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, it's not hard to make a garden. It's not hard to plant seeds. But it does take dedication to taking care of that garden. And after you harvest it, then you got to go through and do all the preserving. What can you preserve? How are you going to use it? And are you actually going to use it? Are you going to keep it or are you going to sell it? I don't think anyone's going to buy that parsnip. I'm just saying. That's like a mouthful and half of it is woody root. Just saying. But it's still highly nutritional and delicious. So if you stop watering your gardens and stop taking care of them like you normally would, a garden bed like this that actually produces me money and fills my pantry and feeds my family suddenly turns into a squattly little harvest that doesn't even fill my pantry. It's not about beating myself up or yourself because you didn't take care of it. It's about simply acknowledging what you did and making a choice in that moment. Are you going to choose to do better next year? And if you're going to choose to do it again next year, how can you do it better? How can you do it better? What does your garden need? Mine needs some fixing. Hi, Tiger. Say hi to Tiger. I told you, I've turned into the crazy cat lady. I've got a ton of kittens. And older cat. And old cats. Young cats. Middle-aged cats. Y'all take your pick. Every size, every shape. You can even choose between how many legs you want. Anyway, the more you take care of it, the better your harvest. But are you going to actually use that? Is this something that you only want to use fresh? Or do you want to go through and preserve and save all these parsnip leaves? Did you know parsnip leaves are a great seasoning? Dehydrate them, grind them up just a little bit, use them just like parsley or a carrot substitute in your dishes. Really freaky good. Same thing with carrot leaves. Did you know that you can do the same thing with your carrot leaves? So say like this year, my parsley didn't germinate this year. And my carrots didn't germinate, but I got a buttload of parsley. Or not parsley, parsnips. Even if they're just little, I can still use that. And you can too. So take stock of what you actually did get. Take stock of what you are willing to do in all reality. Not the stuff of, yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, I could do that in a perfect world. If I really push and dedicate myself to that, I can do that. I can, make this monster, massive, amazing thing. But come the day to actually sit down and do the work, are you going to do it? That's what fall time's about. It's about acknowledging what you're actually going to do, the things that you really did do in real life, taking stock and notice of your repeating patterns in your life, and making a decision, making a choice. Are you going to continue with those patterns, or are you going to say goodbye to them? Are you going to go through and weed out your gardens, even if that weeding is the actual harvest itself, which you had hoped for to be so much more? But at the end of the day, it's a direct reflection of your energy and effort and your work into it, your dedication. So next year, are you going to do the same thing? Or next year, are you going to do the work right here, right now? Make the plans. Physically get out there and start doing the groundwork so that your garden is ready for next year. When spring rolls around, are you going to make yourself a winter garden? And are you going to actually tend to it? Or are you going to halfway through peter out and say, nope, I'm done. I don't want to. I just want to sit here on the couch and do shit, jack shit. Your harvest is a direct reflection, but you also got to be willing to use the foods that you grow, and you got to be willing to preserve them too. Something to think about. Harvest season is about cleaning up and saying goodbye to the end of the year, my friends. Making the plans for what you're going to do different next year. And now we sit in the shadows of ourself and come to real terms with who and what we are and our own patterns. Love you guys. Stay strong and don't give up, because you're doing amazing, even if it feels like you're doing it all wrong. Keep going.